It's very nice to be thought of as being pretty, as being, it's a plus. It's nice. It's not terribly important, but it is nice to have it in your favor.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate your time. I wanted to come on here and kind of react to this video that I found on Facebook that's like going around on Facebook and Instagram as well, and I wanted to give my opinion or my perspective on some of the things that he's mentioning in this video. So take a look and I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
These successful black men are not skipping over black women because of the way that you look. They're skipping over you black women because of the way that you were raised. Let me run that by you again. They are not skipping over to the white women or the Asian women or the Caribbean women or even the African women. We're talking about the Americanized black woman. The reason why these successful men are skipping over you, it's not the way that you look, but it is the way that you carry yourself. These other women, they were conditioned, they are programmed, they are trained to be wives. They are trained to be helpmates. They are trained to be submissive. They are trained to cater to their man. They are trained to be grateful. They are trained to be appreciative. If you deal with the typical black woman in America, she wants nothing but a whole bunch of things provided for her that she cannot provide for herself. She requires all of these things that she cannot do for herself. And then when you get one that can do things for herself, she talks down to men as if she's better because she's paying bills and she has a car and she has a credit score, as if that makes her better when that just makes her an adult. There are going to be a lot of women that are upset about this post, but it's the truth. It just is what it is.
All right, so overall, I understand what he's saying, and I'm not going to sit here and act like the cultural differences between African Americans, Asians, white people, and Caribbeans, and Latinos, and Black Latinos are not all different cultures, in a sense that we have different values and beliefs as it relates to relationships and marriage, that we are not all taught different things and different ways of attaining it, or what's important, or how you last in a successful marriage. I'm not going to sit here and act like we all have the same culture. Before I get into that, I also want to acknowledge that I understand that these type of conversations always bring up, the diaspora wars or the xenophobia that you will find a lot of times with African Americans concerning other Black people in the diaspora. So the way Africans feel about African Americans, the way Caribbeans feel about African Americans, the way Afro-Hispanic, like, I understand that there is tension whenever we distinguish ourselves, and people tend to react very in this extreme illogical tribalism. I just wanted to say that we can discuss our differences without those differences being hard definitions that divide us. We are alike and we are similar, but we are also different. So I just wanted to say that portion before I go on. So I personally sit at an intersection, right? So I am a Afro-Latina, I am a Caribbean woman, and I'm a Black American woman. And my culture consists of those three things as well. So there are aspects of things that I do, inclinations that I have, references that I make that are multicultural, right? In that sense. So I get African American culture, I get Latino culture, I get Caribbean culture, okay? So because I sit at this intersection, I have heard many different aspects, or rather perspectives, from both sides or all of the sides. So I know how Caribbeans feel about African Americans. I know how African Americans feel about Caribbeans. I know how Afro-Latinos feel about African Americans, and I know how African Americans feel about Latinos. These are all ethnicities of the diaspora or Black people. They're just different in terms of literally the geographic location from which the origins of these people come from. Thanks to the Atlantic slave trade, Some of us were dropped here, some of us were dropped there, some of us were dropped here. So that resulted in us having defined, distinct, different cultures. Now, when you talk about African American culture, we have to be honest. You have to be honest. While there are a lot of things that are absolutely worthy of celebration, that are attractive, that are things that people look upon and desire to take part in and take pieces of and get inspired by, we have to be honest in the fact that a lot of African American culture is degenerate and destructive. We must be honest about that. So there are aspects of the ways that we think and do things that have become generational curses, that have quite literally kept us in the same impoverished, dysfunctional, absolutely just terrible conditions over the last 30, 50 years. But I will say, not to provide an excuse, but simply to just draw the correlation, that a lot of those practices come from strategic conditioning that we have been taught, right? So whether it's by our music or other media influences and things that we oftentimes perpetuate from generation to generation, when we are literally copying each other, someone had to start it. Someone had to give us the dysfunction to begin with. And yes, a lot of that does connect back to slavery. A lot of that does connect back to Jim Crow and all the other attempts to disenfranchise African American people. Yes, all of that is intentional. So we have to be honest about that aspect as well. But in 2025, we should have arrived to better conditions and better mindsets. And in some aspects we have, like absolutely in some aspects, you see all the time people online talking about breaking generational curses, not continuing certain toxic behaviors. I want to be the first to break the chain. I see that talk all the time. But we have to be honest about, for every 5 Black people that you see who are intentional about the way they live their lives, how they raise their kids, who they procreate with, who they marry, who they continue their lineage with, every time you meet someone like that, there's 10 more who are, I'm just gonna say it, who are really just into nigga shit. They are okay with nigga shit. They want to do nigga shit for the rest of their life. They want to teach their kids how to do nigga shit. They want all their friends to be doing nigga shit around them. Like, nigga shit is truly, it abounds. It's whether you want to talk about the chicken before the egg is really irrelevant, because there are Black people who are stuck in a cycle of destruction, and whether they are aware of it or not, whether they have some sort of, have self-awareness, is irrelevant. They are stuck in a cycle. They believe in the cycle. They support the cycle. They uphold the cycle, and they perpetuate it to everyone around them, including their children, which will then go on to do the same thing. And so I say all this to say that in this video, when he talks about how African American, because that's what he's talking about, when he goes on to say that African American women are losing out because Black men are so-called Black men are going and dating other races of women, and he also, which I thought was interesting, also going and dating other ethnicities within the diaspora, because they have been culturally trained and prepared to be better wives, better partners. He goes on to mention that they are grateful, that they are interested in being helpmeets, they are interested in being submissive, and all the things of that are the hallmarks of a traditional wife and mother. Okay, fine. I agree with that to an extent. Again, harkening back to what I said in the beginning of the video, I am at an intersection culturally as well as ethnically. I am a Hispanic and I'm Caribbean. So I have experienced both Hispanic and Caribbean culture, and I can say absolutely the women and men in my family who are Caribbean and the women and men in my family that are Hispanic have always seemed to be slightly different from my African American family. I just have to be honest, in terms of their values, in terms of some of the domestic things that they do, how seriously they take working and their commitments. Yes, absolutely, 100%. But what I find to be interesting about whenever Black men make these sweeping generalizations about Black women, or specifically Black American women or African American, I just want to say that in this video I'll be using African American and Black American interchangeably. I mean them as the same. But I realize that when Black men, and and specifically Black American men, make these generalizations, that they're saying it as if they have been somehow excluded from the same degenerate negative culture that has created the African American Black woman, but they have somehow been like quarantined off to the side, and they haven't been, influenced and raised and conditioned by the same exact negative culture that they said they don't like about Black women. I don't understand how that cognitive dissonance happens, because if we're going to talk about the negative aspects of African American culture, we have to talk about them across the board, across the genders. So for the same reasons that you may not like African American Black women, well, babe, other Black people across the diaspora feel the same way about you. The stereotypes about African Americans apply to both genders, and everyone knows it. Like, see, I can't speak to it because I'm not African, but I have dated Africans. I've been engaged. I was engaged to an African and was in a 3-year relationship with one. And absolutely, I got to realize or experience that they perceived me a certain type of way because they thought I was just African American. So, like I said, this idea that African American Black women alone are the only ones who got messed up and spoiled by the American culture, that's simply false. See, what Black men, and specifically Black American men, don't realize is because they are desired sexually, they think they are in high demand because they see themselves a lot in porn, and online there's a lot of talk on podcasts about their attractiveness. They confuse that with actually being desired and actually being in high demand regarding important things like generational wealth or financial stability, marriage, having kids, actually building wealth, getting properties, credit, like all of the important adult things, all the important things that people think about when they're approaching marriage in a more intentional aspect, right? So again, culturally, Africans approach marriage differently from African Americans. Hispanics approach marriage differently from African Americans, Latinos as well, Caribbeans even. If you think about it in that aspect, Black American men are not high on the list outside of their sexual marketplace value, like literally just the sex people think or desire to have of them. They are not the top ones that people think about when they're like, oh, I want to get married. Oh, I want to have a real family. I want to actually, pass on good traits. I want to build something that lasts. Black American men are not top on the list. I think they're at the bottom. They would be at the bottom with the same African American women. For the same reason, you're raised in the same culture, the same exact culture, the same exact mentalities, the same exact behaviors. Because as much as you want to separate yourself from it, Black men, you can't. You were there being conditioned right along with the Black woman, right along with the African American Black woman. Y'all were being conditioned. Y'all were being sold these things. Y'all were absorbing the toxic culture and behavior and dysfunction all along in the same households, right? Again, and it's irrelevant if you want to do the chicken before the egg. If you want to say, oh, well, I learned it from a Black woman because I had a single Black mom, or, oh, I didn't learn it from my dad because he wasn't here. However you want to break down whoever. But like I said, because it becomes a generational curse, it gets passed down and passed down and passed down. And so before you know it, you're several generations in doing nigga shit, and you don't even realize that, oh, we doing nigga shit, because it's so normal, because your mom does nigga shit, your dad does nigga shit, your brother does nigga shit, your auntie, your uncle, your friend, your neighborhood, the whole sphere of the people that you meet and interact with are doing nigga shit together. So no one is realizing, oh, we're doing nigga shit, maybe we shouldn't do this nigga shit no more. No. So this is what happens in the Black community. This is what happens specifically in the Black American community, that we continue these patterns and behaviors. So then he mentions like, oh, okay, well, when Black American women when they get something, right? When they achieve success, when they get to where they want to get, they want to throw things in a man's face and tell a man, oh, well, I have this and I have your credit. Okay. While I personally don't agree with that, when women do that, when women lead with their accomplishments, because I don't think that it attracts the type of men that those type of women actually want. When you lead as a woman, when you lead with your accomplishments and success, you will attract the men, mostly a majority of men, who just want to use you for what you have. They're not there to contribute to you. Because men who have things, who have accumulated things of value, they really don't care about your degree. I'm sorry, ladies, I have to be honest. They don't care about your degree. They don't care about your businesses or your success. They want to know what type of character do you have? What type of skills do you have? What is your mindset? Can they trust you? Are you intelligent? Do you have common sense? Those are the things that men with things actually typically care about. They're going to produce. They're going to succeed. They're going to acquire more things. They're going to buy more things. They're going to build more things. So he doesn't need that from you. It's literally like if you have a pink umbrella and then you go outside and you see a bunch of other people walking around with pink umbrellas. Well, I have one, so I'm not looking for someone else with a pink umbrella. And then you walk by and you see someone who is wearing blue rain boots. Okay, now immediately the blue rain boots, the person with the blue rain boots is standing out to you because that they have something you don't have. So when you're dealing with a successful man that's wealthy, he has the pink umbrella. He has many pink umbrellas in all different colors, all different, locations. So he's not looking for a woman that also has pink umbrellas. He's looking for a woman that has rain boots. I mean, I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible, but yes, that's how that goes, honestly, sincerely. But anyway, he says, oh, black women, they throw it in your face and all it turns out is that they're an adult. Well, again, the reason why I think a lot of black women who do reach success and do escape the nigga shit is because they have done it on their own, and they have seen a lot of the women in their lives doing things on their own and not depending on men and not needing men, and men not showing up in general, men not being there to do anything. So essentially, when you are a woman who all your life, dating back to when you were a little girl, you haven't seen men moving in positions of power, moving in authoritative positions, men who haven't been coming along. Like, if you have never experienced a man in a useful aspect, in an aspect that you really needed a man, or your mom really needed a man, or your cousin or whoever needed a man to do something, and then he showed up and changed the whole situation. If a woman never experiences that in all her life, she's seen women just getting out here doing it, just, oh well, I gotta do it, no one else is here. That's a type of trauma that's really hard to escape. But like I said, within the African American community, a lot of our cultural mindsets become normal because everyone is doing it. So if everyone is walking around with the same traumas and the same experiences, it's normal to feel this way. It's normal to think this way. No one is saying, hey guys, I really think it's a problem that all the women in our community grow up never having access to powerful men that are capable and responsible, and that do what they say they're going to do, and that come and represent and help us and aid us and take care of us and protect us. I think it's weird that we've never, in our family, each generation of woman never keeps a man or is never able to be, I think it's weird that none of our uncles have stuck around. No one is saying, no, we're not having those conversations. It just becomes a matriarchy. It just becomes generations of women doing what they have to do and taking care of the outcomes of their choices and decisions. To present a correlation as to why so many African American black women end up as single mothers, end up in these situations, is because, again, when you're talking about generational curses, generational mindsets, if your grandma didn't know how to pick grandpa, didn't know what are the good and bad things to look out for when it comes to selecting a man, right? If she grew up in a silent generation where no one talked about sex, no one even gave you a guide map, information, no nothing, right? So she go out, get pregnant. Now she pregnant. Or she got pregnant by a man that was just, looking somewhere to lay his hat, as they say. He's not sticking around. And he did it. So she had to do whatever she had to do to raise her child. And then let's say she finds herself in the same exact situation. Because we'll be honest, a lot of our grandparents, a lot of our grandmoms, there were multiple baby dads. A lot of your aunts and uncles don't even share the same father. Let's be honest. A lot of your aunts and uncles in their 60s right now, their mom did not have a stable relationship with a man. So they saw their mom being tough and hard and trying to be the man and trying to be the woman and trying to raise them the best that she can. So your mom comes from that. And so she didn't have her dad, or she didn't see a lot of her dad. Her uncles, if she had them, didn't really do much. So if her mom didn't know how to pick men, she can't teach her daughter how to pick men. And so then your mom falls into the same situation. Now you're here. So far, 2 generations of women having kids. None of them knew how to pick men. None of them even had the proper influence or guidance or even access to good men. So now you're here, 3rd generation. What are you going to do? Do you know how to pick men? Do you know how to make decisions to set yourself up in the best possible position as a woman? Do you know how to use your youth, beauty, and femininity to the best of your ability to position yourself to get the best option for yourself? Do you know how to abstain from sex and when to lean in and when not? Do you know how to weigh the consequences of sex? Do you even look at sex for what it is? Not, oh, this feels good, this makes me wet, but, oh, this is how a baby is born. Baby's most likely going to become my responsibility and my responsibility alone. So do I even want that situation for my kid? I see this guy. I wonder, does he have more to offer me other than his penis, other than his abs, other than his swag? Then when it comes to black men, if all your life for generations, again, you see a mom, you see a grandma, no men around. So here you are, you're a male born in a situation, but there's no men around to teach you how to be men. And what you hear of men are negative things, most likely, because the women in your family are living and trying to recover from the trauma of their poor decisions, as well as the poor decisions of the men who were involved momentarily. Who's there to teach you how to be a man? Who's there to teach you right from wrong? Who's there to teach you what is the process of becoming a man? How do you grow up? How do you build those skills, that basic skill set that men should have? How do you grow and mature and learn? How do you have those experiences safely without having to do the things that are costly to then come back and learn those experiences? What men do you have around you to influence you and teach you, okay, here's how it is. I did this, I've been there, here are the lessons I learned from it. Don't go down this path. See, if everyone is in this large interlooping Groundhog Day of bad decisions, poor choices, and dysfunction, again, this is what creates the culture. And so I don't understand why African American black men recognize the bad culture in black American women. They don't recognize it in themselves. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this topic. Get below. Tell me what you feel. What are you thinking? React. Tell me what's on your mind. All that I ask is that you be respectful in the comment section. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.